Hi everyone, for those of you who are new, I'm Maddie and I'm now a third year at a Big Four audit firm in Cape Town. And for those of you who are old, I just want to say thanks so much for your patience while I've been quite absent. But please bear with me. In today's video, it will be very unstructured. I really want this to come straight from my heart because this is something that's near and dear to me. So in 4 days' time, those of you who are watching, I assume, will be writing one of the biggest exams of your life. And it's the first of the 2 SAICA board exams to qualify as a CASA. I found this exam the most daunting out of the 2 because it's so broad, it encompasses all of your subjects. But fear not, in this video I'm going to be speaking about some of the things that helped me prepare beforehand to deal with the nerves in the exam and the nerves after the exam. So I really hope this helps you. Let's get into it. Preparation. I think at this point a lot of you are probably like, I don't want to look at a single accounting book ever again, and that's fair enough. I think if you're in that position, you need to spend these next 4 days really just chilling, getting your energy levels back to their prime, and that's great because I think one of the worst things you could possibly do is cram now because your brain just really isn't going to absorb information efficiently and it's going to make you more confused on the day. Not a good situation to be in. So in order to get those energy levels at a good place, this seems obvious, but I would avoid drinking at all costs or anything that might impact your sleeping patterns because that is essential to getting your energy back to a good place. And I know this is a toughie because probably all of your friends that aren't doing accounting are having the best time of their lives, but I promise you it's going to be worth it in the end. So some things to do in this time while you're not studying is to make sure that all your flags are perfectly in order and very accessible so that during the exam you're not like, oh my gosh, where's section 13B or whatever. Go for walks outside, get some fresh air, it's good for your brain. Do some stretches, read something other than your IFRSs. Well, I don't know, whatever makes you feel calm, just make sure you're in a very calm, happy place before the day of the exam. If, on the other hand, you are terrified about Wednesday and Thursday and you don't feel prepared at all, this is something I can assist with because that was definitely me 2 years ago. Remember, the last thing you want to do is cram or burn out. So if you are going to be studying in these 4 days, just make sure to adopt an approach that doesn't make you exhausted before the actual 2 days of writing because those days are a lot. I found that using a Pomodoro timer was really helpful and effective in making me study in little bursts without burning out. So a Pomodoro timer will work like you do 30 minutes of intense studying and then do a 15-minute break where you can go get a snack or walk around or whatever. Try to avoid phone time. And then you repeat this until you feel like, okay, I've covered that section, I feel good about it. And I think this just helped me feel like I wasn't doing an 8-hour intense, I must sit for 8 hours, I must study. So my brain was kind of in a better position, where I was like, okay, well, I get a 15-minute break after this. I feel way more chilled. So I used Pomodoro timers on YouTube. I like them because they have lo-fi beats with them, but you can also get without. But I'll link them below. But otherwise, honestly, just trust yourself that you did study enough. Remember, you've just passed an entire honors degree. So you know this stuff. You've got this. You've literally been validated that you have this. Then on the day of the exam, well, technically the night before, please make sure you've read the rules and regs that SAICA has for the ITC exam. So make sure you know what to bring, what not to bring, so that on the day you feel like, okay, at least I've read the rules, at least I'm prepared for that part of the day. When I wrote the ITC exam, I forgot to bring a clock, and there was no clock or time in the venue, so I couldn't see how much time I had left. Massive shout out to the guy in front of me who tilted his clock to face me. Really appreciate you, bud. So with that in mind, on the day you will need stationery. So a load of pens, one will always break, both of your calculators, so your normal one and your financial calculator. Then lunch and water, that's really important. Please eat and drink water. You need a clock, don't be like me. Your ID, your IFRSs, essential. Please take out all the notes. If you have any notes made in there, like a piece of paper, make sure you take them out beforehand because you will get in trouble otherwise. And a copy of the rules and regs just in case. But also, this is not a complete list. I'm now at this point quite a dinosaur, so just be sure to check the SAICA website and then also consult with your friends. And then maybe this is just me and I'm super lame, but I like to bring like a good luck charm when I write exams. So when I wrote ITC, I brought a little chess piece that my friend Rowan made. And I don't know, just looking at it made me feel like, okay, I'm calm now. And I don't know, maybe there's something like that to you, just a little object that makes you feel a little bit more at peace without freaking out. That's obviously entirely personal and up to you if that's your thing. And then guys, during the assessment, here's some vital advice. Firstly, the moment you get your paper, plan out the time that you have to answer all the questions, taking into account a lunch break and your bathroom breaks and so on. And be sure to stick to those times. On that though, please do take your lunch breaks, even if it's just 20 minutes, just so that you can, for just that time, clear your head and focus on something that isn't your paper. And it might actually help, I don't know, your thoughts flow better. I definitely found that was the case. Number 2, attempt every question. SAICA doesn't usually take very kindly to leaving a question out. In fact, I think you might just outright fail. At least it was like that for APC. So please attempt every single question, even if you're like, I have no idea how to answer this. You make a little framework. You know how to do a framework. You will know somewhat what the question is asking. Make that framework, come back to it, you'll be fine. Do not, under any circumstance, panic. This is the worst thing you can do. If you see a question and you know it's your weakest section, so for example, you get a deferred tax question and you're like, absolutely not. Don't say that, rather say, okay, I've definitely learned about deferred tax before, I'll be fine, let me just think about this a bit, I'll come back to it later. And with that sort of mindset of like, I can actually do this, your brain will believe it, I promise you, rather than like, hell no, and then you panic and then it's just not good and nah. If you're telling yourself already that a question is impossible, your brain will make it impossible for you to think about it. And number 4, if you are feeling really foggy up there, take a walk to the bathroom. You're allowed to do that. Just even 2 minutes just to take a walk, just sit in the loo, think about the paper. Maybe some answers will come to your brain. It's better than just sitting in this very intense environment where everyone's stressed and feeling like, no, rather just take a walk, come back, and then I think you'll feel better. And then lastly, this is super cheesy, but back yourselves. You've come this far, you've all got your honors degree, you're absolutely well prepared and capable of passing this exam and even slaying it. And if any point you feel doubtful about that, just say to yourselves, I'm smart, I'm capable, I will slay this exam. And I promise you, you will. And then after the exam. Now, cool, you've done 2 days of writing, it should be over, right? Well, no, because now you've got 2 months of being scared that maybe you failed and it feels like the end of the world. I know exactly how that feels. On the day of my results, my firm hosted a celebration for everyone and like a lunch beforehand, and I didn't even go. I didn't go to any of those things because I was like, I failed. This exam went really badly for me. But you can imagine the relief when I got the SMS and it was a pass and I don't know, all was right in the world. And the moral of that story is, number 1, there's literally nothing you can do between the 26th and when you get your results. There's nothing you can do. And I know that's an irritating thing to hear, but it's true. And you should feel comforted by that because there's physically nothing that you are in control of at this point. Nothing you can say will change the result. So you just can chill. You can do whatever you want. You'll get the results and you'll deal with it when they come. Don't deal with it in those 2 months. Secondly, even if it is the most garbage exam or you think it is the most garbage exam that you've ever written, it probably isn't and you probably passed. Trust me. And lastly, if you do fail, it's not the end of the world. And I know it feels like the end of the world, but you're going to rewrite in June. It's going to be fine. You'll be better prepared. And honestly, guys, anything could happen on the day of the exam. And you could be so well prepared, but then suddenly your brain just doesn't want to work. And that's happened to me a billion times. And it doesn't reflect on how good I am as an audit trainee or as a future CA or whatever it is. It doesn't really mean anything other than it's just a SAICA exam. And I don't want you to think that it reflects any more than that. So that's just a bit of advice from someone who was in your boots not so long ago and came out the other side unscathed. You guys will too. So I wish you all the best of luck. Not that you'll need it because you'll all slay the exam. And good luck for the rest of your articles. And I'll see some of you soon, hopefully. And thanks for watching.